People how hook up with older people. What is your story? Story 1.
I dated a woman who was much older than me. No matter how you look at it, age never really bothered me. But it made me self-conscious that everyone around me was going to disapprove of our relations. Approval to me was a big thing, and I blame my parents for that one. Being with her, she knew that my insecurities about dating a much older woman was just over-dramatic bullshit. She didn't see the point of me lying after being together for so long, which I agreed with her 100%. But I was anxious and scared, which made me lie, deny and avoid the truth to a lot of things. So I hope to dear God that she would have just done it and presented herself to my family, posted our pictures on Facebook and said we were in a relationship. But instead, she fueled my anxiety. She went along with my fears, and that created a lot more problems in the long run for me. I viewed her as being a more experienced, more confident, but early on in the relationship, I realized that she always relied on me to take the initiative and decisions. For some reason, she always said, if you mean it, then you do it. It always seemed more like she was trying to say, if you love me, then you prove it type of thing. She didn't force me to do anything, but it was the constant indirect jabbing and her disappointment that she always showed me that made me think, oh shit, I need to show her I'm being real here. I know I fucked up. I know I should have stand for what I truly loved and should have been open about it. But, like I've been told, being with someone isn't a one-way street. It's emotionally supporting each other and doing things for each other that you know will benefit the relationship in the long run. We all have our strengths and weaknesses in a lot of categories. So being emotionally supportive, we tend to help each other out in that sense, to bring the very best of each other out. But when we support each other for the wrong reasons, then it only creates problems, like supporting my anxiety, for example. I felt like she expected me to fulfill her needs and desires, but not work together, support each other to meet those needs. So it made me feel like, alright, if you want me to take the initiative, then I guess I'll plan everything out. So when I reevaluated the whole relationship, I felt like we had no structure, no foundation. Our goals were all over the place. I tried to tell her about it, but her apathetic attitude made her to never throw ideas or suggestions on how to restructure ourselves, how to fix it. It made me think, shit, what am I supposed to do? So I took charge. I became the captain of this lost ship in the sea. I know, this is the part where the average person would say I would have just said fuck it and broke up, but that wasn't me. I wished, I hoped, I had faith that we can get through this. But when you're with someone who just doesn't have the same optimism, you either go to roots, you feel miserable and give up, or you become obsessed and try even harder to make it work. Which is why I understand why she said I was being a control freak. She pretty much put me in that position where I either give up and let this relationship die, or try to grab all these broken pieces and put them back together. Was it wrong? Absolutely. I shouldn't taken charge. I have absolutely no experience in that category and should have just looked for outside help, or at least read a book about it. What's even worse is that when I found her Reddit username a couple days ago, and I started to read all the comments that she made about me specifically, it made me realize that this woman is simply full of hate and blame. Her emotional immaturity really showed how she can't take responsibility of her own actions, her own feelings, and the fact that she said things like I was the one who abrupted and said I was done, when the reality was that she was the one who said it. When she broke up with me on April, and then she proceeded to push me away. Also, the fact she said I criticized her body, when I was also admiring her beautiful body, her beautiful looks. She's now projecting her own insecurities and problems and creating a whole new scenario to make it look like I really am that bad of a person. When she pushed me away and had the cops called on me, that's what actually said I was done obsessing over her. At the end, I was not talking to a rational, reasonable person anymore, but a person with full of hate and blame. I know she found this Reddit name because I like to express myself and reveal things about myself online that only she would know that this is me. I know she stalks me constantly online to know what I say about her and what I'm doing. I'm not fucking stupid, I just tolerate it. But I just find it funny that she even blamed another user to be me when they suggested there was codependency issues going on. For the love of God, people say this all the time on Reddit. Codependency is a thing. Many people have it. There are hundreds of books about it. I have it. She has it. A lot of people have it. Had. I know you're reading this and I know you're my online stalker. But for the love of God, stop being a freak when you say I know everything. That right there is stalker material. You sound like a psychopath with obsessive tendencies by saying that. I know you're hurting from what I've said about you. I'm extremely hurt too. Instead of being honest with each other and saying it to each other, we now vent and expose our own private problems to the world. We're two immature weirdos. I just hate how this relationship ended in the gutter, because we refuse to see the truth of our problems and we put no effort in finding help. I accept that we're over, but this bad blood that you created between us is destroying our own very characters. One person told me you to stalk each other online. God, you two are meant for each other. To weirdos who are in denial for being weird, I don't hate you. I love you and I wish the very best for you. This why I proposed to you, because I accepted the responsibilities and hardships that was coming after being married with you. I knew this wouldn't be easy because I also had my own demons to fight within me, but at least I was willing to work it out with you. But you pushed me away and what can I do? Nothing. You really gave me no options at the end.
Story 2.
Much older woman here. I've been having some fun with guys 8 to 10 years younger than me recently, still having fun with the older guys too. My husband and I recently split and I always had a much higher sex drive than him, so it has been nice to sleep with younger guys because I feel like they can keep up with me, no more one and done's yay. Also because of the age gap I don't have to worry about feelings getting involved much, we literally just meet up, fuck each other's brains out for a few hours. I hand them some fruit snacks and a Capri Sun and they leave until one of us wants to do it again. I've slept with several younger guys in the last month. One had only slept with one girl before me. She broke his heart, so my goal with him was to just be selfless and show him a lot of attention, just get his spirits back up. The previous girl didn't give head, so it was fun being the first to do that for him to completion and see his reaction. He thanked me, which was sweet. I send him nudes, he sends some to me and I compliment him, try to make him feel good about himself. Poor thing is a mess. The second guy likes to be dominated, which has been fun because I'm pretty submissive myself. So, pegging a guy with a ball gag in his mouth has been checked off my sex bucket list thanks to this chap wearing a strap-on is pretty amusing. It took me a while to stop giggling at first. Guy 3 is a freak like me, so we have a game where we try and up one another each time we meet. It's his turn next. His friend drives a limo, so he wants to have anal sex in the back while his friend takes us around. How am I going to top that? Maybe anal sex in a rocket ship, but with 2 girls. Nothing emotional. Nothing heavy. Just carefree, fun, exploration with guys who appreciate me and don't put me down for wanting to try new things.
Story 3.
When I was 40 I met this 20-year-old girl at a party. She was a cute little thing, a college student studying electrical engineering, played volleyball and was in a sorority. I have no idea why, but she somewhat pursued me for nearly 6 months. Random text messages and phone calls out of the blue to just say hello. One night she calls and invites me to come hang out with her at a mutual friend's house. I have nothing planned, so I go. As soon as I come in the door she is all over me, hugging and hanging on me. I sit on the couch and she is on my lap wriggling around like a little puppy. I get the hint really quick. I tell our host I am hungry and I am going to go grab something to eat. I also ask the young lady on my lap to go with me, as I am not familiar with the area. She jumps at the chance. As soon as we are in my car she has her hand on my dick. I drive until we get to a stoplight, and by now she is fully stroking me through my pants. I tell her to take off her shirt and she does. Her tits are awesome, so I kiss them, until the car behind me honks and I speed away until we get to a Kroger and pull up behind it. I get out and suck her tits while I rub her pussy and she strokes me. I pulled her out of the car and put her on the trunk and ate her until she came everywhere. In like 10 seconds, then I bent her over and fucked her. Unfortunate it was over in like 3 minutes lol. Right before I came she asked me to come in her, she knew I was fixed. So I unloaded in her and we went back to the get-together. She was in the bathroom for close to 15 minutes cleaning herself out. When I left she kissed and hugged me and whispered that she had marked 3 things off her firsty list that night: sex with an older man, sex outside, and having a man come in her.
Story 4.
Okay, I have a funny one. I was a bass player in a function band for a couple of years. Anyway, I was incredibly lucky with the girls at that point. I guess being a bassist playing a wedding does it for some girls. Anyway, one night this older but stunningly attractive lady was on the chase. I was 21 at the time, she must have been I'd guess 40s. As there were no other persons of interest that evening, I went with it. We ended up back in her room after the night was done, and she was possibly not only the most awesome fuck I've ever had, she was incredibly easygoing and funny. We alternated between talking shit and fucking like crazy. Anyway, it's the next morning and I'm seriously tired. I can hear she's in the bathroom fixing up, and I'm facing the inevitable truth that I have to get up for the 3+ hour drive back home. So she comes out and is about to leave. Then she reaches into her purse, grabs an envelope and hands it to me. In the envelope, there's about £1,500 or so in £20s. I looked confused and said, what's this? Her response, oh, it's payment for your services? I mean the band, not the other thing, hahaha. It turned out I just fucked the groom's mother. Epilogue to that story, I got dressed, went down to the canteen to grab a cup of tea. In the room, I was confronted with 4 members of my band fairly loudly cheering, saying, "Go on my son," that sort of thing, and 3 to 4 tables back was the groom and his wife. I honestly have no idea if he knew, and I'm trying to completely evade the whole subject. I told them all in the van on the way home. They haven't let me forget it since. Lines like, "If you ever fucked my mum, I'd kill ya, lol."
Thank you for watching. Be sure to comment your opinion about these stories, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new stories.